What's going on, guys? It is Trader Kaz. Decided to record another video today. It seemed like the majority of the people on Twitter, when I posted that poll, wanted to see a recorded video instead of a stream. General thoughts, the market is looking pretty rough. S&P rolled over again after it looked like we put in a strong daily candle yesterday. And that is true kind of across the board. Like, this was a really nice daily candle on Ethereum, and now we're nuking again. Pretty much the same thing with Bitcoin, Sol, whatever else you want to look at. Pretty ugly daily candles across the board, but let's jump into a little bit more of the details, talk about a possible bull scenario, run through a few charts, and we'll see where it takes us. So the main bullish hopium scenario that I would kind of look to is the fact that we keep making higher lows here tentatively if we hold like right here, and we continue to retest the origin of the pump, the daily demand that led to each of these moves. So this time broke out, retested it here right before this breakout. This one retested here twice before this leg up, and now we have this one that we are right in, and this was the last down day before this move up. So you could say this daily level led to this move up, and now we're retesting it. So ideally we could hang on right here, but that obviously has to happen soon because we are getting pretty close to no longer making higher lows. It wouldn't be the end of the world if we came down something like this to sub 37, and if we do that, I think this kind of scenario would probably be off the table. And what we would be looking at is basically us just sweeping these not so equal lows for liquidity before more upside. So either I think we have to bounce right here, or push down, take out all these lows, and then I'd really like to see a bit of a rally. That kind of lines up with the S&P 500 as well. So we obviously had this downtrend right here, very clearly broke out of it, and now let's see. Obviously this retrace is like pretty ugly. I would say that is deeper than most retraces you'd like to see. Even if we pull it with this leg, we're kind of at the edge of how far we would want to be seeing this pulling back. So ideally, put in a higher low here, and if I hide or delete this weekly demand that we bounced from, because that is kind of in the past, I would pull up, probably just highlight this whole region as the daily demand that led to this pump. So that's pretty much the same as this level right here on Bitcoin. Would like to see us put in a higher low there and then push. I don't really want to look too far past that, like whether the bounce would just be a lower high or if it would be a sign of greater things to come. That's kind of too far out there for me to decide or think about right now. We kind of want to look at this more near term, what we got going forward from here. Also, real quick before I forget, shout out to Bybit, guys down here. They're the reason I do these streams / recorded videos twice a week on schedule for you guys. So if you want to support the stream, check out the Bybit link down below. So that's this Bitcoin chart. I want to look at one more that I marked up a little bit, or we can zoom in a little bit more. So, the main thing that jumps out at me is how ugly this pattern is. It was literally a pump and dump. However, we swept last week's low yesterday, pushed from there, came all the way back down and swept Monday's low, and you could think of it as like a retest of last week's low if that holds. So it doesn't, like, obviously this dump is horrible. Like, it looks super ugly, but I don't really see the reason to be super bearish now. Or at least the risk reward isn't there to be super bearish now. Could this break down further? Yes. But it's like you already missed a 7% dump if you like now want to become bearish. So I still think this weekly level right here, this weekly candle's low that we kind of front ran right here at 43. I still think that's kind of a magnet for price. So if we are able to start pushing, that's like my high upside case. I think it's a little early to be looking for that as a target. Like right now, if this holds, we hold last week's low, I'd kind of look for a grind up target, Monday's high and these equal highs just above it. But after that, we can see how things progress, see if you want to target 44K from there. So we really want to see if some buying pressure can step in here. This was a good rate of the low. We'll see if this 38K region can hold, maybe consolidate for a little, and then just start kind of grinding up. But after seeing volatility like this, it wouldn't surprise me to get a bit of like consolidation. Usually we see expansion and then some consolidation before another major move. Doesn't always happen like that. As you can see here, we didn't chill for very long before the next big move, but that's typically what you would expect to see. So if I was looking to get long, I would wait, first of all, because I don't really want to catch this knife, but I would want to see us start to form some bullish structure, and I bet we're forming some pretty nice divs right here. You could enter along here. I don't hate the idea. I would probably want a little space on the stop loss, but actually that wouldn't help too much. I think if we start to form some bullish structure, break out from this. Like you can see, this is clearly the downtrend, right? So if we break, that was ugly. If we break above these highs, start to consolidate above this level, I think you can get away with a stop loss there. Because if this low gets taken out, I would assume we roll over even further. So we are at a point where you'd like to see some relief coming relatively soon, but the overall PA kind of just puts me off a little bit because it is so rough. So I'll probably hold off on trading this, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how things develop. There are some decent divs starting to form on the 15 and 30 minutes, so let's see if we can start to put in a little bit of bullish structure, and then I think we can be more serious about talking about some longs. Okay, Ethereum looks pretty bad. Well, not terrible. Weaker than Bitcoin. You can say that for a fact. So first and foremost, this is a good level to watch. It didn't take out Monday's low, unlike Bitcoin, so you could say more recently it's had a bit more strength. However, Bitcoin is still kind of trading around these original lows from April 10th, and Ethereum is a bit below that, but not a huge deal. What I'd like to see from this is some strength to get back above last week's low. So, you can see we rejected there pretty clearly. So similar to Bitcoin, currently didn't pull back quite as far, but the structure is pretty similar, and the lower time frame price action is relatively similar. Starting to get a little bit of buying here. Like, this was just a straight sell-off. Now it's starting to chill a little bit, so let's see if we can get above last week's low and then look for a little bit more of a push higher. Sol is continuing to make some lower highs here, so that would be an obvious target for liquidity if it starts pushing up. This is a key low that we've been watching. We swept it here, kind of did the same thing there again. Now we're retesting it, so we'll see if that level holds. But near term, similar price action as the other two, starting to get a little bit of demand on the lower time frame. So same exact thing. Let's see if we can get a little bit bullish structure. I do think Sol has some clear targets around 103. And I mean, yes, it's ugly how this happened, how we got here. But if we can put in a higher low there, like we'll see what happens. So those are kind of the general thoughts on the market. Kept that right around 10 minutes, really quick. I did a Spaces with Bagley and Jim Cooper on the Boryoku Dragons Twitter account. If you guys have been watching the streams or videos for a while, you know I'm a pretty big fan of the Dragons. They recently had this airdrop, Blood Moon Boku, that went to your wallet, and for everyone it's been pretty much a free around 30 Sol. It's down a little bit more now, but we saw quite a few good sales in that 30 range. 25 to 30, I would say, is like the fair value of it right now, or at least what the market is showing the fair value of it is. So pretty cool to see the Dragon team deliver some value like that, and excited to see what the Blood Moon Boku actually does. But we talked about that a little bit on the Spaces, so if you would like to check that out, you can listen to a recording of it on the Dragon's Twitter. There aren't really any upcoming mints right now that I have my eye on. Moonbirds are at around 30 Ethereum, I want to say. So if that pulls back a bit more, I might try and grab a couple more of those. But we'll see what happens. Probably could talk a little bit more NFT stuff in a future video, but I just don't have as much NFT content to talk about in this episode, other than the fact that I thought that Spaces went pretty well. And for those that are interested in learning more about the Dragons project, because I do talk about it a lot, I think that's a great way to kind of get a broad overview and also hear about where the project is kind of going from here. So I expect some big things coming from the Dragons. I think that's going to do it for me. Going to wrap this one up here. Once again, shout out to Bybit for sponsoring these. If you guys enjoy the videos and would like to support the content, check out that Bybit link down in the description. I'll talk to you guys soon in the next one, and I'll keep you updated on Twitter with any relevant information as the market progresses. So talk to you guys soon.